Hello Year 3, it is Monday the 11th of January and this is our Jigsaw lesson. So last week we did piece 1, Dreams and Goals, and this week we are looking at piece 2, My Dreams and Ambitions. So some keywords that we're going to be using today are dreams, goals, ambitions, future and aspirations. And we're learning today to keep trying even when it is difficult. So, by the end of the lesson, we should be able to identify a dream or an ambition that is important to us. And we should be able to imagine how we would feel when we achieve our dream or ambition. Okay, so our charter. We take turns to speak. We use kind and positive words. We listen to each other. We have the right to pass. We only use names when giving compliments or when being positive. We respect each other's privacy, confidentiality. Okay, to start us off, for Connect Us, we are going to play 1 to 10 and back again. So, let's begin. We're going to count up to 10 and then back down to 1 again. We're going to do this a couple of times and you need to see if you can count in time with me. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's try that again. Just make sure you're keeping in time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, well done. Next, I am giving you anger. So I'm giving you the emotion of anger. So when we're on number 1, we're going to be just a teeny tiny bit angry. But by the time we get to number 10, we're going to sound absolutely furious. We couldn't be angrier. So we're going to count to 10 and back down again to 1. And as we say each number, it needs to sound more and more angry. When we start to count back down to 1, we need to become calmer with each number. Okay, so let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, well done everybody. Now finally, I'm giving you excitement. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that anger now. Think about what your voice would sound like with excitement. So number 1 is just going to be a tiny little bit excited. And number 10 is going to be incredibly excited, bouncing around, bouncing off the walls, can't wait for something to happen. Okay, so again, we're going to count to 10 and then back down again to 1. And as we say each number, it needs to sound more and more excited. When we start to count back down to 1 again, we need to become calmer with each number. Okay, so let's try this one. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was interesting, wasn't it? So it's really important to think about how our voices might change with certain emotions and how our behaviour might change. And then maybe we can start to spot those emotions in other people if this were to really happen and somebody was feeling these emotions. It's good to recognise them so that we can hear those things happening in their voices. Okay, ready for Calm Me. So, my favourite Year 3 children, Can you come with me as we help our minds to get peaceful and calm? I'd like you to sit up nice and straight where you are. Imagine the golden thread is pulling up gently through the top of your head, stretching your spine so you feel proud and dignified. Try and keep both feet flat on the floor and your hands loosely in your lap. If you want to close your eyes gently, you can, or you can focus on a place that makes you feel calm. So, we breathe all the time, but usually we don't notice. But now I want you to notice that you are breathing and how nice it feels. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is when you hear the chime, I want you to breathe in through your nose and count in your head. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly, gently. And then when you breathe out again, feeling your tummy sink back in and your mind silently says, leave my troubles at the door. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, leave my troubles at the door. Okay, I'm going to hit the chime. Are we ready? I'll talk you through the first 2 and then the rest needs to be in your head. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, leave my troubles at the door. In, out. As you breathe gently, be aware that your body is calming down. Your muscles are relaxing, your arms, your shoulders, your tummy, your legs, your face. Everything relaxing so you feel calm and peaceful. I'm going to hit the chime once more. Okay, I want you to start to bring your body and mind back into the lesson. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, and bring that quiet mind back to focus on this moment right now. Let's learn. Okay, for our Open My Mind section of Jigsaw today, we are going to be introducing this person to you. This is somebody called Jane Goodall, and she works with chimpanzees. What do you think Jane Goodall was like as a little girl? What do you think she dreamed about? Pause the video here and take some thinking time. When Jane was a little girl, her father gave her a toy chimp that she named Jubilee. Jane loved exploring the outdoors and always took Jubilee with her. She loved learning about animals and plants and dreamed about going to Africa to study chimpanzees when she was older. When she was 23, she moved to Kenya and lived on her friend's farm. Jane asked if she could have a job with a man called Louis Leakey, who was a famous scientist who studied chimpanzees. Louis helped Jane go to university and become a famous scientist herself. Jane studied chimpanzees and her work has allowed us to know a lot more about these special animals. Jane had to work hard to achieve her dream, and it shows that dreams can come true. Okay, now we're going to listen to this story next. It's called Me, Jane, and this is all about Jane when she was a little girl. Now, while we're listening to this story, I want you to be thinking about what were Jane's dreams and goals when she was a little girl, and how did she achieve these? What did she do to make these dreams and goals come true? Okay.
Me, Jane by Patrick McDonnell. Jane had a stuffed toy chimpanzee named Jubilee. She cherished Jubilee and took him everywhere she went, and Jane loved to be outside. She watched birds making their nests, spiders spinning their webs, and squirrels chasing one another up and down trees. Jane learned all she could about the animals and plants she studied in her backyard and read about in books. One day, curious Jane wondered where eggs came from, so she and Jubilee snuck into Grandma Nut's chicken coop, hid behind some straw and stayed very still, and observed the miracle. It was a magical world, full of joy and wonder, and Jane felt very much a part of it. Jane often climbed her favorite tree, which she named Beech. She would lay her cheek against its trunk and seem to feel the sap flowing beneath the bark. Jane could feel her own heart beating, beating, beating. With the wind in her hair, she read and reread the books about Tarzan of the Apes, in which another girl, also named Jane, lived in the jungles of Africa. Jane dreamed of a life in Africa, too. A life living with and helping all animals. At night, Jane would tuck Jubilee into bed, say her prayers, and fall asleep, to awake one day to her dream come true.
Okay, so what were Jane's dreams and goals? So she dreamed of being able to work with animals when she was older, being able to go to the jungle and work with them. How did she achieve this? Now, this wasn't in the story, it was actually back a slide. So what Jane did to achieve this was when she was 23, she moved to Kenya and lived on a friend's farm. So first of all, she made sure she was in a place in the world where she would be able to work with chimpanzees and work with the animals that she wanted to work with. She then managed to get herself a job with a man who was a famous scientist and was somebody who already studied chimpanzees. That man then helped Jane to go to university to become a famous scientist herself, which then allowed Jane to achieve her dream and goal. So she didn't give up. She worked incredibly hard to make her dreams come true, and she made sure that she did all the things she needed to do to make her dreams come true. So, what are your dreams and goals? Is it good to have dreams and goals? And how will you achieve your dreams and goals? I want you to pause the video here and have a think. Pause point. Okay, show me your pause, everybody. Take 3 deep and gentle breaths. And think about how you are feeling right now in this moment. Maybe you're thinking about a dream or goal that you have and thinking about what you could do to achieve it. Okay, for our Let Me Learn section of our Jigsaw lesson, we are going to think about our dreams and goals. Now, your independent activity is going to be to draw a flower like this one on a piece of paper, nice and big if you can, so that we can see what's going to be in the centre and in each petal. Okay, now a picture of yourself is going to go in the middle, and in each petal around the middle of your flower, you are going to write or draw your different dreams and goals into the petals. Now, they could be dreams and goals that you have for this year. They could be dreams and goals that you have to achieve by the end of primary school. Maybe they are dreams and goals for when you are older in secondary school. Or maybe even you've got some dreams and goals for when you are grown up. They can be a mixture of all your dreams and goals. Okay. Now, what do you think a flower has to do with our dreams and goals? Pause the video here and have a think. Now, a flower, just like our dreams and goals, starts as a tiny seed. Okay, so it starts with something small, an idea. And when we plant it and look after it and take the steps to make sure our goal is achieved or to make sure our flower grows, that flower will begin to sprout. It will begin to grow until it has blossomed into a beautiful flower, just like our dream and goal. If we put care into it, we nurture it, we look after it, and we make sure that we're doing the right things, then just like a flower, our dream and goal will become nice and tall and will be successful. Okay, so for your independent task, you're going to draw a flower, just like the one I showed you a moment ago. So we need to make sure we've got a circle in the middle. And then we've got maybe 6 petals around the outside. Try and make sure they're nice and big. And just get them to surround your flower. We want them to be big enough so that when we are writing or drawing on them, we won't have to squash it too much. Okay, so in the middle you just need to draw a little picture of yourself. It could just be your face, or you might want to do your whole body, that's fine. So I'm just going to draw my face. Give myself some eyes and a nose and a big smiley mouth. Maybe some eyelashes, a bit long. And then we're going to draw our hair. Obviously you can use your colouring pencils or pens at home to add the right colours, but I don't have many colours here at home, so I'm just going to use the same colour. Okay, and then around in each petal you're going to write different dreams and goals. So they might be dreams and goals that you have got for the very near future, so something you want to achieve very soon, or they might be, all those dreams and goals might take a bit longer, so you might have some that maybe you're hoping to achieve by the time you're a grown-up. So you could have a mixture of all different ones in there. So I'm going to think about some things I'd like to maybe achieve this year. So I would like to adopt a dog. That's something that I'm trying really hard to do at the moment, and I'm hoping to achieve this year. And another one for this year is to get my wedding booked. Been really hard with the coronavirus, but I'm hoping this year will be the year that we can get it booked. So it doesn't have to be things necessarily to do with school, but you might want to have some school ones in there as well. So for example, I'd really like to make sure I give myself more time to read, because I really don't read enough, and I love reading. And at the moment I read in the holidays, because that's when I find myself being able to have a bit more time. But I'd like to make sure that I'm reading every day, just because it really calms me down and it helps me to go to sleep at the end of a busy day as well. So to make time to read more. So you could write these, or you could draw them, or you could do both if you wanted to, if you've got some room. I'd also quite like to experiment with some different recipes. So I've got a few cookbooks for Christmas actually. I'm excited to give them a go and try cooking some more, some different recipes that I haven't made yet. To cook different recipes. Okay, and then maybe a longer term goal, so something that might take me a little bit longer to achieve. I'd like to buy a family home. So at the moment the house that I'm in is a starter home, so it's good size for me at the moment, but I'd like to buy a larger family home in the future. Oh, spelt family wrong. Missed out my eye. Do you know what? Something that I'm a bit pants at, but I'd really like to be able to learn to love. And I think that's going to take some practice and some determination. But I would really like to develop a love of gardening, because I've got a beautiful garden at the moment, but unfortunately I don't look after it very well. So I'd like to work hard at maintaining my garden, and I think that would give me some nice time outside as well, getting some fresh air and just turning my garden into a place where I can spend some time. Okay, so this is the sort of thing we are looking for from you guys. Obviously, your dreams and goals might be very, very different to mine, but we need a picture of you in the middle and 6 different dreams and goals around the outside, either writing them or drawing them. It's completely up to you. Okay, everybody, it's time to do your activity now. So make a start with your flower, and don't forget, we would love to see pictures of these, so you can either put them on Twitter and tag Swingate Primary, or you can email them to the Year 3 email address. Pause the video now to create your flower. Okay, to finish off our jigsaw lesson today, we're going to reflect. So I want you to have a look at your flower that you've just created. How do you feel about the dreams and goals you have set yourself? Do you think they're realistic? Do you think they're dreams and goals that you're going to be able to achieve? And then I want you to think about, what do you need to do to achieve them? So what is it that you need to do to make sure that these dreams and goals that you have made for yourself get achieved? Okay, thank you for joining in with Jigsaw today, Year 3. Have a lovely evening. Bye.